Yo, what's up, riders? Today, we're not just riding, we're sinking into the moment. This isn't about racing, it's not showing off speed. It's not even about just another motorcycle video. This is about sensation, feeling, that space between man and machine where the real magic exists, where the engine isn't just something mechanical, it becomes a pulse, a heartbeat, a voice. And right now, that voice belongs to the 2025 Triumph Bobber. A motorcycle that doesn't scream for attention because it knows it owns it without trying. A bike built with classic muscle and modern precision, stripped down to the essence, low, bold, honest, and unapologetically iconic. Today, we take this machine through London. Not the postcard London with bright skies and glowing glass buildings, but the quieter, moodier, rawer side of the city. Cloudy, gray, cold, a little wet on the streets, the kind of weather most people avoid. But for riders, this is where personality shines the strongest. Because a motorcycle like the Bobber doesn't ask for sunny days to look good. It thrives in atmosphere. It lives in mood. It was built for moments like this, when the world feels muted and the engine becomes the loudest emotion in the story. Moment 1. Start up. The ignition sparks, and instantly, that deep rumbling exhaust breathes awake. Not loud for the sake of loud, but thick, dense, mature. Like a slow bass note hitting your chest before your ears even register it. There's texture to the sound, a mechanical soul in every pulse. If engines could speak, this one would talk slow, confident, measured, like someone who doesn't waste words. Before the bike even rolls, it already tells you that something special is about to happen. And then we go. Tires rolling over London asphalt slightly kissed by leftover rain. The road doesn't feel flat, it feels alive. You can sense every detail through the handlebars. Not harsh, not uncomfortable, but honest. A connection most modern bikes filter out, but the Bobber chooses to keep raw. The throttle opens gently and the response is immediate but composed. No sudden explosion, no jerky attitude, just pure intentional torque breathing forward, pulling you into motion like a promise being kept. This bike doesn't ask for obvious attention, it earns quiet respect. London today is a scene straight out of a film that knows it doesn't need dramatic music to make you feel something. Black cabs moving with character, red double-decker buses passing like slow-moving landmarks, pedestrians wrapped in coats, all living in the quiet rhythm of the city. But through it all, one thing cuts the atmosphere like a slow percussion beat. The exhaust note of the Bobber. Deep, controlled, textured, rhythmic. It doesn't shout. It resonates. It fills the space without dominating it. People don't turn because it's loud. They turn because it has presence. If you're wearing headphones right now, you don't just hear it, you feel it. The low-end hum travels through you like a second heartbeat. The motor isn't just sound. It's vibration, tone, emotion translated through metal and combustion. As the ride continues, the character of the city changes with every turn, and the Bobber reacts like it's having a conversation with the environment. Past tall brick buildings, the exhaust echoes differently. Under bridges, the tone becomes deeper, amplified by concrete acoustics. Open roads stretch the notes longer, tighter, calmer. Every surface, every wall, every open pocket of air shapes the soundtrack organically. This is not edited sound design. This is real physics playing music, and London plays along. Cloudy skies soften the world, removing the sharpness, adding mood, depth, and cinematic layering without trying. Reflections don't glare, they glow gently. Shadows don't scream, they whisper. Chrome doesn't sparkle, it breathes. Many people think the perfect ride happens under the sun, but real riders know that some emotions only show themselves when skies turn gray. When the world feels calm enough to let the soul of a machine come forward. This isn't a flashy ride. It's an intimate one. The Bobber stance is low, assertive, deliberate. You don't sit on this bike, you settle into it. Feet planted naturally, arms relaxed, shoulders unforced, posture aligned with purpose but soaked in comfort. It's not a posture that asks for performance, it asks for experience. The suspension doesn't float, it communicates. It tells you the story of the road, not to complain, but to include you in it. You don't ride over the city, You ride with it. We move through traffic without fighting it. No aggression, no impatience. This bike doesn't demand to be first, it demands to be understood. Corners aren't attacked, they're respected. Leaning the bobber into turns doesn't feel like a challenge. It feels like agreement. Not look at what I can do, but this is how it flows. The bike and rider don't wrestle here. They cooperate, like dancers who don't count steps anymore because instinct guides them. A red light halts the momentum, but not the feeling. The motorcycle is still alive beneath you, breathing in controlled mechanical rhythm. The machine doesn't go quiet just because motion paused. It idles like a living creature waiting, not bored, not impatient, simply existing. Pedestrians glance, not to judge, not to compare, but to acknowledge. The bobber carries a kind of charisma that doesn't need explanation. It doesn't beg to be seen. It simply is, and people instinctively respect it. Green light. Roll on. No dramatic pull, no aggressive roar. Just measured motion carrying the same confidence it has carried from the first rotation of the wheels. Speed on this bike isn't measured in numbers. It's measured in mood, presence, weight, rhythm. You don't ride this bike chasing adrenaline. You ride it chasing feeling. Crossing a small bridge, the air bites sharper. Wind pushes against your jacket, but not enough to distract you. Only enough to remind you that you're awake, real, alive, and present. This is where riding becomes meditation. No overthinking, no analysis, no noise except the sound you choose to listen to. And today, that sound is the deep, uncompromising exhaust note guiding you forward like a mantra. There comes a moment in every true ride where the brain finally stops narrating and starts absorbing. You're not thinking about horsepower, torque numbers, riding posture, handlebar angles, or frame geometry. You forget to critique. You forget to compare. You forget to judge. You just exist in movement. Your hands, the throttle, the engine, the road, the atmosphere, the city, all become one system moving together without resistance. And when you reach that moment, you realize why you ride in the first place. Not for content, not for appearance, not for speed, but for the unfiltered connection between human intuition and mechanical soul. London's evening energy begins to form even though daylight still exists. Streetlights wake up early under cloud cover. Shop signs glow. Car reflections stretch across wet asphalt like neon watercolor. The scene could be in a movie, but this isn't scripted. This is simply what happens when mood meets motion. The bobber doesn't try to steal the spotlight here. It lets the city have its character, while quietly revealing its own. Not louder, not faster, just deeper. This bike isn't the fastest in the world. It's not even trying to be. It's not the loudest, not the most futuristic, not the most tech-heavy, not coding itself in artificial drama to be noticed. What it is honest, pure, grounded, carries intention with every mechanical movement. Its soul is built into the pacing, not the marketing. It makes you look at the world slower, listen closer, and feel more. It turns roads into dialogue instead of competition. That is its power. And maybe that's why cloudy rides win hearts without trying. Because when the world dims a little, feelings show up more clearly. When skies don't steal your attention, sound and motion get their moment. When everything visually calms, emotional detail turns louder. The Bobber 2025 thrives here not by being bright, but by being true. So if you're watching this right now through headphones, volume slightly higher than usual, losing track of your surroundings because you feel pulled into the ride, congratulations. The mission worked, because this video never wanted to be watched. It wanted to be felt, not observed, experienced. And if your heart reacted even slightly to the sound, the pace, the silence between revs, the atmosphere between city noise, the soul hidden in mechanical rhythm, then you and I understand the same language. Not spoken with words, spoken through engines, exhaust notes, road textures, and moving moments. All right, riders, this chapter ends here. Thank you for riding through cloudy London with me, carried by the deep pulse of the 2025 Triumph Bobber. If you love POV rides, raw atmosphere, unfiltered exhaust sound, and cinematic journeys that speak more to the soul than the ego, hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications, because this is not the end of the road, just one of many stories written in motion. Until the next ride, stay safe, respect the road, feel the rhythm, and remember, riding isn't measured by distance or speed, but by moments that stay long after the engine cools down. Let's ride out. So before we shut the throttle and roll this journey into silence, let's take one last breath inside this moment. Because this ride was never just about a motorcycle crossing London under cloudy skies. It was about presence. The kind of presence that can't be bought, edited, or faked. We live in a world that moves fast, loud, crowded, and demanding. Notifications buzz, schedules tighten, cities rush, people hurry, and sometimes we forget that the best experiences aren't the ones that scream for attention. Sometimes the most powerful moments are the ones that don't shout at all. The ones that hum instead. Low, steady, persistent. Just like the beat of the Triumph Bobber 2025 rolling beneath us today. This entire ride has been proof that emotion doesn't need excessive speed to exist. Impact isn't always loud. Meaning isn't always dramatic. Sometimes the deepest stories are written quietly, tire by tire, vibration by vibration, breath by breath. London didn't put on a show for us today. There were no blinding sunsets, no cinematic golden hour, no postcard skies begging to be photographed. The city simply existed in its truth. Gray, moody, restless but calm at the same time. And isn't that what real life looks like? Real life rarely shines in HDR brightness. Most of the time it lives in muted shades, subtle transitions, and quiet connections. And maybe that's why this ride felt so real. Because neither the city nor the machine pretended to be anything they weren't. And we didn't either. We just showed up, tuned in, and rode through reality without trying to embellish it. The Triumph Bobber 2025 carried us through that truth. Not as a tool, not as transport, not even as a machine. Carried us as a partner. A presence that doesn't demand to be validated because it already knows its identity. There are motorcycles built to compete, motorcycles built to shock, motorcycles designed to impress specs on paper, and motorcycles built to trend online. And then there are motorcycles built to feel. Bikes that don't exist to get somewhere fast, but to make you remember the road that got you there. The Bobber is one of those rare machines, the kind that doesn't just move your body forward, it rewires your awareness inward. It slows down your thoughts while speeding up your senses. It doesn't distract you from the world, it reconnects you to it. Think about it. When was the last time you truly listened to something without multitasking? When was the last time you felt texture instead of scrolling past it? When was the last time you felt wind not as weather, but as a companion? Most days we consume life quickly, bite-sized, minimized, compressed. But riding asks something different.